Hey everyone, it's Erica. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a layout for the Cut Shop design team. I will be using the Finally Fall cut file set, and I used one of the fall leaves and die cut that out with my Silhouette Cameo. I use American Crafts White Smooth cardstock. It's one of my favorite cardstocks to use when I am cutting things out with my Cameo. So here's just a look at the cut file. I cut it out 4 times. With my machine. That's I tried to use as much of the paper as possible. I'm going to be using the Finally Fall collection from Simple Stories. I'm just going to show you some of the products that I have here. I got this little kit here from Click Kits. And there's also some flair there from the Crafty Pocket. I'll leave her link down below. She has got a super cute shop with tons of great flair and digital items. So I took the cut file and then backed it with some of the papers that are in the Simple Stories collection. Some pretty fall colors, and they're backed exactly the same. Each of the leaves are backed exactly the same. And I'm just trying to figure out where I want to place them on my layout. The photo that I'm using is one of our baby Liam, and he had just turned 1 year old, and this was actually the day of his birthday. So I took photos of him earlier that day, and then I also took some photos of him later on in the day when the sun was just about to set. So the lighting was really pretty. So I just set him outside on the sidewalk. He doesn't have anything fancy on, just he was in a good mood. I took him outside, and there were some leaves on our road that were starting to turn color. So I thought that this photo and the colors in this collection went really well together. So like I said, he had just turned 1 year old, and he was happy and clapping, and it's a really cute photo. So I did pull out some different inks that I thought went well with the colors in the collection. So I'm just going to add a little bit of splatter to my paper. I didn't add gesso or anything to the paper, so it's just the ink splatters are just kind of going to absorb into the paper, and a lot of it gets covered up, but you will see some colored splatters peeking out under the leaves once the layout is complete. So I'm just adding the ink pad to this clear stamp block, adding some water, and then taking this paintbrush and picking up the color and adding the splatters to the paper. Right there, I dropped that ink pad. Oh my gosh, I thought I got it on the paper, but it didn't. It didn't do anything, thankfully. If it did, I just would have turned the paper over and used the other side. No big deal. So I'm going to go through and add color, with this Distress ink, and then this other pigment ink. I believe it's from Amuse Studio, which I don't think is no longer around anymore, but I have a whole bunch of their ink pads as well. So I'll go through each of the colors and add color, and then on one of them, instead of just wiping the color off the block, I end up just taking the block directly to the paper and smushing it down to add a little bit of a watercolor effect. Now, if I would have gessoed the paper, the water would have moved around a little bit more, and but since it's just regular cardstock, it kind of just sits there on top of the paper and absorbs down. It does dry quicker that way too, I think. So I believe it's this last color here. I'll leave the colors listed down below in the description box if anyone is interested in those. So this kit was a kit that was from Click Kits. They had offered a class taught by Hannah, one of the design team members, and it was kind of like your favorite fall. I believe it was your favorite fall things. So there's the Simple Stories collection. You got the chipboard, the collection pack, the ephemera, some word stickers from Pretty Little Studio, and then a super cute flare from the Crafty Pocket. So I have the colors down how I want, and I'm going to add the die cuts down, or the cut file, and I'm just going to place it from corner to corner. I just like the way that looked, and I'm going to add some adhesive and stick those down. I'm just using the tape runner, and then the middle leaf, I do add a piece of foam tape to kind of pop it up. And then once I'm done with the whole layout, I do go back and add some foam tape to like the tips of the leaves, just to give them some dimension and some interest to the layout. So there, I'm just sticking them down. And then I will add layers behind my photo. I just take some of the papers from the collection. I believe it's the same ones I used in the back in the cut file, and just add different layers behind the photo. The adhesive that I use for that center leaf, I use the glue dots, the pop-up dots for a dimension. I love how sticky those glue dots are, and it's a great, it gives really good height to the cut file. So I'm just going to trim down my photo using my Fiskars trimmer, and then go through and find some papers that I want to use, and then go ahead and back the photo. When I back my photo, I just, let's see, I take the paper and just cut them down. Usually my photos are 3x4 size, and I trim them down just a little bit. So I'll trim the papers that I'm going to use like a 3x4 size, and then just kind of stick them behind my photo. I don't do it to where it's all centered perfectly in the middle of the pattern paper. I like to kind of offset them and kind of do messy layers. Not really, really messy, but just kind of messy. Nothing really even or anything like that. And then sometimes I'll just have small strips of paper left, and I'll stick those strips in there as well. And you'll never know that it's just like a tiny strip stuck in there, because you can't see what's underneath the photo. You just see what's sticking out of the side or the top or the bottom. So that's a good way to use up scraps that you may have in your stash you don't know what to do with. Use them as layers behind your photo. So I'm just going to build some layers, and then use some tape runner to adhere them all together. I love this. This, I think, is probably my favorite fall collection that was released this year, this Forever Fall from Simple Stories. I love the icons in the ephemera and on the sticker sheets. And then the patterns are great and the colors are perfect. Really, really pretty. I was unsure first when I saw it online, but once I saw it like in my hands, I fell in love with it. So I'm sure this collection will, or this kit that I have, is going to get completely used up. So I'm just building the layers, adding, seeing how I want them to go. And then I'm going to add the adhesive. I wanted to use my stapler, but it was nowhere near me, so I just grabbed that, and then I end up finding it later on in the process of doing my layout. So I'll make sure to leave the link down below for the Finally Fall cut file set. It has tons of great files in it, and I actually use the Feeling, I believe it's the Feeling Fallish that comes in the set as well, on a layout that I did earlier for the cut shop. So I will leave that blog post link down below if you want to check out that layout. It's super cute. I just backed the letters in the cut file. So here is another strip of paper there. See, like I said, it's like a tiny strip, and I just add some adhesive and stick it down, and you'll never know that it's just like a tiny strip of paper. So I'm going to start with the embellishments. These are the pieces that come in the die cut pack from Forever Fall. I'm just going to kind of work them around the layout and see where I want them. I kind of place things down and then pull them off and put them back on and take them off, and then finally commit to it and stick it down with adhesive. So I love the floral pieces in here and the different leaves. I'm going to use some of the pieces from the die cut pack, and then I'm also going to use some of the stickers from the sticker sheet. And then also I'll use some of the leaves in the chipboard. Just different textures and different feelings of pieces. I love to add chipboard and ephemera together. For the floral pieces, because I stick them underneath the photos or, behind my layers and stuff, I like to cut the florals in half. That way I can use, one on, the right side and then on the left side, or sometimes I'll use them both on one side, but just kind of layer them together. Stretches out the die cuts a little bit and adds dimension when you do that. So I have some tags here, some leaves. I'm just going to stick them in behind there, get everything situated how I want. I do add some staples once I do find my mini stapler, and add some staples to a few of the elements on my page as well. I love these little banner tabs that come on the sticker sheet. I love to add those to the top of my photos and kind of layer them up. Sometimes I'll add some journaling with my typewriter up there, but for this layout, we have the Pretty Little Studio word stickers, and they fit perfectly on those labels. So those are great to use as well. So I'm going to continue to embellish around my layout, and I'm going to add a strip of pattern paper. I believe it's a navy pattern paper with some floral. I'm going to add a strip to the top and the bottom of my layout, and then up in the upper left hand corner, I'm going to add some embellishments. There's like a label and a circle, and then I add a heart from the chipboard sheet as well. So I'm going to do that now and kind of create just a little cluster there up in the corner. It was looking kind of just plain up there, so I wanted to add a little something to that corner. Most of the time I don't mind all the white space on my layout. I do love a nice white layout as the background, but for some reason up there in the corner it was just kind of bugging me, so I wanted to make some type of a cluster up there as well. So here is that pretty pattern paper that I'm going to cut the strips out of and add them to the top and the bottom of my layout. And I just used tape runner adhesive to add that down to the paper. So the Cut Shop has a ton of great fall cut files, and I have so many downloaded that I need to get using. And we also have some great cut files that are perfect for traveler's notebooks. So if you're watching the video and you're like, oh, that's so cute, but I don't do 12 by 12 layouts. We have a ton of layouts in the shop that you can use for traveler's notebook, and they're also perfect for cards as well, or pocket page scrapbooking. Just because a cut file is used, or you see it being used on a scrapbook layout, you can totally change these files up and resize them and use them on cards and pocket page scrapbooks or pocket page layouts and traveler's notebooks. You just get in there in your Silhouette software and kind of play around with it, play around with the sizing, and cut them smaller. You would be amazed at how small you can actually cut on these machines, with the file. You may see it and be like, oh my gosh, that's a big leaf. It's not going to fit in my traveler's notebook, but just resize it. Have some fun. Get in there and customize the files to what you want to use it for. Just because it's like one file, you can totally change it up and, make it your own. Like this one leaf, you could totally change the size, replicate the cut file all over the page, and make a really cute background to where all the leaves would fill the page. It's fun to do, and it stretches out your files. So I'm just continuing to embellish around my layout. I'm going to add a few enamel dots to my stash, and that pretty much finishes up my layout. I do my journaling on my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter, and you'll see that in the final photo here at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out the Cut Shop. I will leave all links down below for you guys, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.